Okay, hello everyone. So as you know, I'm not here today. I'll be back tomorrow, but we have the first lesson of our next unit today. So this unit is finance. It's really not a crazy lesson. We're learning about two types of interest. We have simple interest and we have compound interest. So that probably sounds familiar if any of you have a Visa card. If you don't pay it on time, if you don't pay your credit card on time, you get charged interest on what you owe to the bank. Okay, so now we're going to look at, the types of interest. Are you charged simple interest? What happens? Are you charged compound interest? What happens? Okay, so it says Carlos has a choice between investing $1,000 in a bond that earns 10% per annum. Per annum. Fancy way of saying per year. Okay. Simple interest, so they can earn 10% per annum simple interest, or they can earn 10% annum compound interest, which is compounded annually. Okay. So compound interest compounded annually. That means if it's only compounded annually, it's compounded once a year. Okay? Like if you have an annual family function, that means it happens once a year. Okay? So simple interest is the first one we're going to look at. It says interest earned on the original amount invested. So we always jump back to our original amount that we invested. Okay? So in year 0, we've earned no interest. So if we invested $1,000, we still have $1,000. With money, we look at dollars and cents. So you need the decimal 00. Okay. We earn 10% per year, per annum, simple interest on the original amount. So we take 1,000 and we earn 10% of 1,000. So we multiply by 0.10. That's 10% as a decimal, which is $100. That's how much we earn. So now our new total is our original amount plus this amount that we just earned in interest. So $1,100. Okay. Now the following year, I still earn interest on the original amount. Okay. So I jump back to my original amount of $1,000 and I earn 10% interest. So another $100. So my new total is $1,200. Okay? After that, year 3, I earn interest still 10% on my original amount. 1,000 times 10%. Another $100. You can probably see a pattern here. I'm going to increase by $100 again. I'm now at $1,300. Year 4, I earn interest again on my original amount, another $100, and now I'm at $1,400. And year 5, same thing. I earn 10% interest on my original amount, and now I'm at $1,500. Pretty good deal. Okay, so I invested $1,000, 5 years go by. Somehow, because based on simple interest, I am now at $1,500. Okay? If you look here, from year 0 to year 1, I earned $100. Year 1 to year 2, another 100. Year 2 to year 3, another 100. Year 3 to year 4, another 100. Year 4 to year 5, another 100. My first differences, that's what these are all the same, which means this is linear. Okay, it'll appear as a line. I'm increasing by the exact same amount every single time. Okay, so we'll do the formula first. When I add, this will sound familiar, when I add the same amount to get my next term, to get my next amount, and I'm increasing through addition by the same amount every time, you guys will recognize this from yesterday. My formula is going to look arithmetic because I get the next term by adding through addition, okay? So in other words, my nth term would be an amount that I don't know. My starting value is what I originally invested, $1,000. Okay. My n, if I'm trying to find the next term for year 6, is going to be 6. And my difference is, my common difference is how much I change by each time. Well, I go up by 100 each time. Okay, so let's look at this in a general sense. So I have Tn equals A plus n minus 1 times d. This should look very familiar, okay? So then here I have T6, term 6 equals my original amount, 1,000, plus my n, which is 6, minus 1, times my d, which is 100. Okay? Then I have term 6 equals 1,000 plus 5 times 100. Now we're going to leave it like that for a second because I don't want it just for term 6. I want it in a general sense. Okay? So here we have something that looks like this. Essentially what this is, and I'm saying, okay, term 6 equals $1,000 plus 5 times. Another way for me to get 100 is by taking my original amount, as we did here, and multiplying it by our interest amount, so 10%. So I can do, okay, 5 times, and instead of writing 5 times 100, I'm going to write 5 times 1,000 times 0.10. And that equals 100. So this is still 5 times 100. Okay? Now we're going to write down a few important details. You all need to write this down. Term 6. This is my final amount. That's what that represents, okay? 1,000 represents my starting amount. Five represents my number of years. Okay. 1,000 represents my starting amount, again. And 0.10 is my interest rate as a decimal. Okay? So those are your key pieces of information. So we're going to change this, and instead of writing it just like how we did in sequences and series, we have different variables this time. Okay? Because we're not talking about terms specifically this time, like how we were in sequences and series. So instead of T6, I'm going to write this as A. It still represents my final amount though. Then I have equals P. P stands for my principal. My principal is my starting amount. Okay? Plus N, so the number of years that have passed, times 1,000 is still my P. Okay? Times 0.10, which is my interest rate, which is I. Okay? Now, an easier way to write this is A equals, these two terms both have P in them. So I'm essentially pulling out a common factor. I'm going to write P once. This, since I already wrote my P, is just going to be 1, because P times 1 is P, plus N times P times I. If I pulled out the P, all I'm left with is IN. And that's how we write that. Okay, so that's your formula for simple interest. Then we jump to compound interest. Okay, now compound interest, we're going to use the same exact question, but this time it's interest earned on the current amount invested. So again, nothing in year 0. So our total, we start with $1,000. Okay. From that $1,000, we earn our 10%. 0.10, we earn $100. So we are now at $1,100. From here, this is what changes. So we just did the same step from simple interest and compound interest, but this is where things change. We now take our new value, our new total, and that's what we earn interest on. So we're now earning 10% interest on this amount. So times 0.10, and that will be $110. So instead of just earning $1,000 or $100 interest this time, we've now earned $110. So this brings us to $1,210. Okay? Now we earn interest again on our new amount. So 1,210 times our 10%, 0.10, is going to be $121. So as you can see, we're earning more and more each year. Okay, so we're now at $1,331 because we do our previous amount plus what we earned in interest to get our new value. Now we earn interest on our new total, 1,331 times our 10%, and we're going to get $133.10. My new total is $1,464.10. Okay, I then do my previous total, $1,464.10 times my 10% to get $146.41. And my final total here for year 5 is $1,610.51. Okay, so if I calculate my first differences, just like how I did last time, from here to here I go up by 100, then I go up by 110, then I go up by 121, then I go up by 133.10, then I go up by oops, I forgot the plus sign, then I go up by 146.41. Okay, in other words, I've multiplied all of these by 1.10. Times 1.10 times 1.10 times 1.10. So if I take 1,000 times 1.10, I will get 1,100. If I take 1,100 times 1.10, I will get 1,210. Okay? So multiplying it by 1.10 is saying, okay, take my amount that I'm multiplying and add 10% to it. Okay, now you can see I'm not going up by the same amount each time. So this is actually exponential. Okay, in grade 11, exponential is the new type of function that you learn. In grade 9, it was linear. In grade 10, it was quadratic. In grade 11, we're looking at exponential functions. Okay, so this is kind of your start to that. So these do have 15-minute time limit videos. So I'm going to start a new video before we go into the formula here for compound interest, and then we will carry on.